and welcome to my weekly video blog, and today I'm going to talk about 8 causes of dizziness in the perimenopause and menopause. If you like my tips and advice, then please subscribe and remember to hit the bell icon so you can be notified of all my new videos. Dizziness is really common, and I've been asked a lot about this just recently, so I thought I would just go over it again, so that you can maybe figure out, if you're getting dizziness, what the cause may be. We know that falling estrogen can have a huge impact on all sorts of different systems within our body. And once these systems are affected, they can then trigger dizziness. So it's not necessarily always just the hormones' fault, but it can be these other causes that make you much more likely to end up with dizziness. So let's have a look at these. Number 1, obviously dehydration. It's a huge factor. Remember that falling estrogen makes it harder for our body to stay hydrated. So we need that water every single day. We're looking at about 1.5 litres spread over the day. And just remember that tea, coffee, fizzy drinks and juices don't count in this instance. Number 2 is low blood sugar. Again, we know that falling estrogen can impact on our insulin control, making our blood sugar level go up and down much more irregularly. And if your blood sugar plummets, that can then lead to dizziness, often happening very quickly. And this is quite an interesting one, because very often you'll get low mood, you'll get a big dip in blood sugar, and then you end up getting the dizziness. So for this one, it's really important to eat regularly. Make sure you keep your blood sugar stable. Fat is really important, and it's the best food, if you like, for keeping your blood sugar stable. So just have a small amount of healthy fats with each meal can make a huge amount of difference to this sort of yo-yo effect of the blood sugars happening. Number 3 can be blood pressure. It can be either high or low. We know again that in the menopause, and especially post-menopause, high blood pressure is more common at this particular age group. And high blood pressure, there are very few symptoms with it, but dizziness does tend to be one of them. It could also be low blood pressure, although this isn't quite so common. For some people, it's more to do with low blood pressure. And the indications of low blood pressure are usually things like if you go to pick something up and stand up and get dizzy, if you're sitting quietly and then suddenly get up out of your chair, you get dizzy. If you get dizzy after you've been sitting in the hot bath, these tend to indicate low blood pressure. So for this one, it's always a good idea to get your blood pressure checked regularly. Don't go mad. You know, I've had people who have one of these home blood pressure machines, and they're taking their blood pressure every day or once a week, and it's causing a lot of anxiety. So in normal circumstances, your local pharmacist should be able to take your blood pressure, and once every 6 months is adequate. Number 4, believe it or not, is poor circulation. If our circulation is poor, and what happens is as we get older, we maybe tend to get less active, so our circulation decreases, and we know falling estrogen can affect the integrity of the veins, so it can actually have an impact on the veins and the arteries themselves, and that can then lead to poor circulation. And if you're getting this impacted on the arteries going up to the head, there's less oxygen going to the brain, which again means that you can get the dizziness. And it can be due to poor circulation. So again, if you're sitting at a desk for hours on end, and especially if you're kind of hunched over, that's going to impact on the circulation to the head. And in those situations, very often it'll be once you stand up, you end up getting really dizzy. So remember with this one, regular exercise doesn't have to be manic stuff. Just a good brisk walk can, you know, make the world of the difference. And if you're sitting at a desk, just make sure that you get up on a regular basis so that it's not affecting your posture. Number 5, it could be new medication. So if you have just started a new course of medication, Check the patient information leaflet to make sure that dizziness isn't one of the known side effects. And some forms of HRT can cause dizziness as well. So again, either check the patient information leaflet if you have it, or speak to your local pharmacist, as they will be able to tell you if this is a common side effect. If it is, what you may then need to do next regarding the medication. Number 6 is foods and drinks. So it tends to be the things that we love that can be an issue. We've got caffeine, high salt and sugar foods, fizzy drinks, and interestingly enough, artificial sweeteners can cause dizziness. So if you tend to have a lot of foods and drinks that contain artificial sweeteners, maybe you need to look at your whole daily intake. Sometimes we don't even know it's in there. I bought something and then I don't like the taste of them. And normally if I do end up taking something with them in, I just get a funny taste in my mouth. And then when I go and read the ingredients list, there it is in there somewhere. So if you're not sure what you're eating contains artificial sweeteners or not, just check the ingredients list before you take it. Number 7 is anxiety. Because if you get really anxious, it can give you panic attacks, and the panic attacks can then lead to things like dizziness. Sleep as well, poor sleep, sleep deprivation is very often really common, and you only need a few nights of poor sleep, and that can have a huge impact on your physical and mental and emotional well-being the next day. So definitely, if you're not getting enough sleep, you're going to be fatigued, you're going to be very tired, and that can then trigger your dizziness as well. And number 8 is ears. And this is a really interesting one because it's one that I hadn't actually, thought about. And it just happened to be one of you lovely ladies on one of my subjects actually mentioned the fact about their ears. They had developed dizziness, couldn't figure out what it was until they ended up going to get their ears checked, and they had a lot of impacted wax in their ears. And once the ears were cleaned out, the dizziness disappeared. So if you have had any kind of ear infection, maybe a bad cold, and sometimes it can actually take a good few weeks for that sort of bunged up feeling to disappear. If the ears are affected, that can affect your balance. Your balance can then cause dizziness. And it may be an idea just once in a blue moon as well. Get your ears checked to make sure there isn't a big build-up of wax. What to do is, if you're getting dizziness at the same time or roughly the same time every day, that very often indicates that it's either something you're doing or not doing is going to be a trigger. So, again, one of these diaries for a couple of weeks can be a really helpful tool. You just put down everything that you eat and drink, the times, then check the times when you get the dizziness. You may find that you're having a cup of coffee at lunchtime, you're having a cup of coffee mid-afternoon, and that's causing the dizziness maybe around about 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Maybe you've gone too long without eating, or that you're completely dehydrated. So doing one of these for a couple of weeks, it's really worth it. And then it's really simple. If you do find a common trigger, then you just need to change that slightly, and that can make a whole lot of difference. The one really important thing here, dizziness can also indicate really serious health issues. Again, like high blood pressure, it can indicate heart disease. So in this situation, if you've tried all these things and the dizziness is not getting better, if it seems to be getting worse, please don't hesitate to go and get yourself checked out by your doctor just to rule out anything a little bit more serious. So I hope you found this one helpful. Such a common symptom. If any of you have experienced this, did you find out what was causing it? What did you do to help yourself? And, as I mentioned, that was such a helpful tip about the ears that I really hadn't even thought about, and hopefully that might help some of you, so your tips can help other people as well. I will see you soon. Have a lovely week.